Hey guys, welcome to my home office. So welcome to my house, essentially. I felt that this was appropriate for today's topic, and that is just trying to get to know me. A lot of questions I get asked from clients and friends that have known me for a long time is how did I get into real estate? Why real estate? And I'm going to be tackling that question a little bit today. So to tackle the main question, I'll tackle this question, which is how long have I been in real estate? I've been in real estate for about 5 years. I started at the very beginning of 2017. I started with another brokerage. I was there for about 2 years before I transferred over to where I'm currently at now with Remax Executive here in Modesto. And I love my brokerage to death. I love my brokers, love my coworkers, love the atmosphere there. I'm surrounded by professionals every day, all day, and people that are just motivating. It's a great brokerage to work for, and I'm super happy to be with them for the last 3 years. Very involved in the community, and that brings me back to what I did before real estate. So surprise, surprise, before real estate, I did ministry. Crazy. Real estate, I was in ministry. I was a youth pastor. I did junior high ministry, I did college ministry, and I worked with a nonprofit organization, Youth for Christ, and I worked in the schools, and I worked hand in hand with them doing life coaching, leadership training is what I called it, because all these students were leaders. They had that inside them that had to be pulled out of them. And I did that for about 10 years, and I worked with several students, a lot of which now are married and have careers and have gone on and to be very successful, which is kind of dating myself. But that's what I did, and I loved it. I've always loved helping people. I've always loved serving other people. It's just built into my heart. It's ingrained inside of me. I grew up with a dad that worked 60 to 70 hour weeks or more working for UPS, and he would come home and talk about just the relationships that he had and ministry, and how the people on his route were his ministry, and that he would just serve them with a smile, and bring them packages and just kind of make their day. And to this day, my dad still has people in his late retirement that are his friends because he was their UPS man. And I just kind of grew up watching that. I grew up in a really good home. Had great parents that loved each other. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad worked a lot of hours. We grew up in a lower income area, which I never knew. I never knew it was lower income growing up because, I had a lot of love in my house, in my home. And I had a lot of friends that would just come to my house, be at my house. It was kind of like a safe place for everybody. And that's just kind of how I grew up with this whole entire service mindset. And so I was in ministry for a long time. From the time I was 18 up until I was 29 years old, I worked in the mission field, whether that was overseas missions, whether that was youth pastoring, whether that was working in the inner city or working in the school districts. It's what I did. And that's where my heart was. So why the shift? Why the shift from missions into real estate? While missions is a very fulfilling job inwardly, for the heart, and I love it, and I still do volunteer. I still do like to volunteer and put my time in. I got to the point in my life where I needed to make a shift. I guess financially, honestly, I got to a point in my life where I was 29 and I really wanted to try and settle down. I really wanted to try and just build up my finances. And try and get some financial stability under my belt. Working for missions is hard. It's very hard. Working as a pastor is very hard. It's very taxing. It's very stressful. It's very draining. There's a saying in the business world, you can work paycheck to paycheck. In the missions world, you work prayer to prayer. So, and I'm saying this not for always me, but I'm saying this as if you have a pastor, or if you have someone that you look up to in the church, make sure that you love on them. It's a very thankless job. It's a very thankless job. I have a lot of friends who are very close to me, very dear to me, that still work in full-time missions. That's their vocation. Whether it's through nonprofit or whether it's through the church, and it's very taxing. It's very thankless. They do it because they love people. They do it because they love God, and you have to have a close relationship with God to be in missions. And I got to a point when I was 29 that I needed to make a shift for myself, for my own health, mental health, spiritual health, and just financial well-being, and kind of shift into a different career. And I had a lot of friends that were in real estate, a lot of friends that encouraged me, like, hey, this would be a great step for you. You're great with people. You're very personable, yada, yada, yada. And it's something I really started to look into. And the more I started to look into it, the more I started to talk to my friends who were in real estate, the more I started to see, hey, this is kind of like missions in and of itself. It's really not that big of a shift, aside from, I'm going from preaching behind a pulpit to touring people's homes and showing them houses. And it was really cool coming into real estate my first year and a half and kind of seeing, man, how similar real estate really is to a missions field, because a lot of people that I work with in real estate are coming out of hard situations. Selling a house is very stressful. Going through divorces, or being forced out of a home, or being forced to buy, or being evicted from where you're renting, and trying to rush to find a house. These are so many scenarios in real estate that are difficult, that we as agents have to walk with our clients through, and it can be very stressful for both parties involved, for the agent, for the clients. And so to have experience in that field has really helped me and set me apart, I believe, in my career, working with people. And it fulfills my desire to service people and to help people out, because I get to help them out in more times than not really stressful situations in their life. And it was just a really good fit. And I like being responsible for myself. The cool thing about real estate is, if you succeed, it's because you worked hard. If you failed, it's because you didn't. And there's seasons that I go through in life where I can see the difference. I can see, man, when I'm putting in a lot of work and I'm putting in the effort, my business is very successful. And I can see the seasons where I kind of step back a little bit and take a breath, and I see, okay, my business kind of slid back. But at the same time, I like that. I like being responsible for myself. I like being responsible for my own success, and not having that rely on anybody else except myself. So that's kind of my answer. How'd I get into real estate? Just life shifts. You never know where God's going to put you. But in my opinion, my mission field now is real estate. I still get to help people, and that's what I love about it the most. The places it takes me, the people I get to meet, and the fact that I get to help people out and be a part of their life during a very stressful and also very memorable moment, whether that's selling or buying a home. So in a nutshell, that's me. That's how I got into real estate. So thank you for joining me in my home, and I hope you have a wonderful day.